Okay, let's talk about Unit 2 for quick practices for 4th grade. So we start with the first several lessons and getting students ready, really front loading some of this work that they're going to need for division ultimately. And when we know that we have to add in a remainder. So we are preparing students for that work now. So it says, read the equation with me. Your student leader will point to the first equation. 20 equals 3 times 6 plus b. What does b equal? Think about it. The student leader points to their head. They think about it. I have students put like a little thumb in their heart box when they're ready, so the student leader can see when most kids have it. When most kids have it, the student leader says class, and the whole class shows with their fingers. So the student leader will say show with your fingers, and the whole class would say this, class, and then the class would say 2. Read the equation with me, saying the unknown as a number. 20 equals 3 times 6 plus 2. Now, what I find is that at least the first box, we have to do some of this out loud. So if students are not coming up with the right number, you're not seeing 2s, now we're going to do some of the math together. And the student leader would say, class, 3 times 6, and the whole class would say 18. Now that I have 18, the student leader would say, what does b equal? Think about it. So now I know this is 18. What do I have to add here to get to 20? Class, b equals 2. Read the whole thing with me. 20 equals 3 times 6 plus 2. Class, 23 equals 3 times 6 plus b. So the goal is the multiplication did not change. The multiplication is the same. So it's still 3 times 6, 3 times 6, 3 times 6. So you're also helping students with what we consider the hard facts. And they're on this page, you can see we're working on our 6, our 7s, and our 9s. Those are tough. So in this case, they're working on the same fact 3 times in a row, and they're thinking, what would I have to add to that to get to that final total here? So you can change the script as you need, but our goal is that students are practicing for that B. This is not on whiteboards. We're not having students write things out. If they need a scaffold, then we can do the original problem together, or as students come in on their whiteboards, you can have them write their multiples. So say, I want you today to write your 6s, your 9s, and your 7s. And they would write 6, 12, 18, right? They'd write all their 6s, then they'd write all their 7s, then they'd write all their 9s. And they're doing that as we're transitioning. We're waiting for kids to get their pens, we're waiting for kids to sit down, whatever the case may be. Now they have 3 lists on their whiteboard that they can reference when they're doing this. When the student leader says, class, what does b equal? They're already thinking, okay, wait, so what is it? Okay, it's 18. So then, and they're giving them enough time to come up with it. Now, by the time we do the second and the third fact, we don't give them that much time, but they may need it in order to access that first problem. So again, we're not doing the math on our whiteboards, but we could help the issue with having students practice those multiples, which is hard for them. You might also choose just to do the first 2 boxes on this screen because both of them have to do with their 6s. They need one list of 6s. Or you might say both of these have to do with their 7s. Let's do both of those. The goal is that you get through all the boxes on this screen in 5 minutes, but you do what you can get through, providing enough support for your students. So we do that all the way through now lesson 5. Now we're in lesson 5, and our language is really important here. So we've been able to start into our multiplication unit. We're learning the area model, which is where all of these skills really come into play. This is also practicing our multiplication facts, and so it's helping to build automaticity, not only with the language and understanding that base 10 pattern of multiplying by 10s, but it's also helping with our facts. So we're going to read the expression, and we're going to use 1s and 10s language. Read the expression with me, use 1s and 10s language. 3 1s times 4 1s. Think about it. Class, and the whole class would say 12 1s equals 12. 3 1s times 4 10s. Think about it. Class, 12 10s equals 120. 3 10s times 4 10s. Think about it. Class, 12 hundreds equals 1,200. Now, I like to have the student leader write it on the board. So if it was 3 1s times 4 1s and students said 12 1s, I just put an O for 1s, which equals 120. 3 1s times 4 10s equals 12, and we just do a little T, 12 10s, which equals 120. Oh, I'm sorry, up here, just 12. This would have just been 12. Okay, 3 tens times 4 tens equals 12 hundreds, which equals 1,200. So what we're trying to get them to see is a 1 times a 1 is a 1. A 1 times a 10 ends in a 10. A 10 times a 10 should end in a hundreds. Okay, so this is 12 hundreds. This is 1,220, which ends in the hundred space. Okay, so if I go here, 5 ones times 7 ones equals 35 ones. 5 ones times 7 tens equals 35 tens, which equals 350. 5 tens times 7 tens equals 35 hundreds, which equals 3,500. A 10 times a 10 is 100. A 1 times a 10 equals a 10. A 1 times a 1 is ones. So 12 ones, 35 ones, 35 tens, and then 35 hundreds. And how do we write each one of those numbers? So this is the idea that we are not adding 0. We don't say 3 times 5 equals 5 times 7, equals 35, and then we add a 0. Adding a 0 to any number doesn't change the value. We're not adding 0. We're multiplying by 10, and that's what we want students to see. So you'll continue in that manner as you get through now the next set of lessons. Fourth grade, Unit 2, Lesson 13. We now start a new quick practice. We are continuing to work on multiplication facts while also preparing for what's coming up with our long division unit. So students, read the expression with me. 23 divided by 4. Think about it. Now, class is going to put up on their fingers. The student leader would say, hold up fingers to show the largest whole number quotient. Now, students do not want to be raising it in their air, right? When you raise it in the air, everyone sees the hands. Not only does it cause more anxiety, like I'm supposed to know if everyone else knows, but it's also just answer stealing. Everyone's just stealing each other's answer. So I like to put it right here on their chest. So think about it, okay? All the students are putting this up on their chest right now. And the student leader would say class, and the whole class would say 5. Then the student leader would say, at my signal, say the amount extra, the remainder. Think about it. Class, and the whole class would say 3 extra. Read the full equation with me, including the quotient. 23 divided by 4 equals 5, remainder 3. Okay, now, if we don't have that, remember, you always scaffold for what the students are needing. So if they don't know that the answer is 5, or they don't know how we're coming up with 3 extra, I want to assume that fourth graders would know that. So you may have to walk through this first one with them. 23 divided by 4. I'm thinking 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I know that I can get that many out. Okay, I have 5 here. I'm thinking 5 times 4 is 20. How many more do I need to get to 23? Class, 3 extra. Say the whole thing. 23 divided by 4 equals 5, remainder 3. So you can scaffold and add in the doing the math together for the first few, but then you do want to release that scaffold. Not everyone's going to need it. Now again, they may also need to have help with their multiplication facts. So if they can't come up with what that whole number quotient is, you can add a step here for the student leader to say, let's count by 8, stop before you get to 40 or go over 42. And the whole class would say 8, 16 with their fingers, right? 8, 16, 24. We keep going. When we finally get to the correct number and our fingers are stopped, we're going to say, class, how many, right? So they're going to say the number, then they're going to count how many. You can add to this script. This is just the most basic script to get them through these problems. Again, have them come in as a warm up or as a soft launch. They write all of their multiples on their board. Today, let's just say we chose 8, and you would start with all the problems that have an 8 on the screen, or you choose and rewrite every single one of these problems to have 8 as that divisor. They're going to get better at their 8s if we're more strategic and we make them all about their 8s. Okay, so in this case, that might be the next thing that you do. So you're practicing the multiplication facts while also preparing them for those long division units that is just around the corner. So remember, quick practices are intended to build automaticity with the skills that students have already learned. So it's not enough time in the regular lessons, not enough workbook practice for those little skills that students seem to need a lot of repetition with. That's why quick practice is so powerful. Remember that it's 5 minutes every day. And if you're new to me, welcome. My name is Shannon Keebler, and I am the creator of the Math Genius Squad, which is a professional development membership for math expressions users. I've planned or taught every single lesson in expressions, kindergarten through sixth grade, and I am so excited to be able to serve you with videos such as this. My goal is that you are able to feel confident and enjoy teaching math again. So this little video helps you with, and just a reminder that you can go and get this slide deck at the link in our comments below. We want to make sure you have everything you need to be successful, no cost at all to you. When you get the slide deck, you're also going to get access to all of these things. We have a challenge for you. We have more information and many videos so that you know what you're doing and how to do it. In addition, I want to invite you to join the Math Genius Squad. If you love these slides and you want more like this and you want a video to teach you every single lesson, how do we do it and how do we make it more visual and engaging for our students? Then of course, you want to be a part of our Math Genius Squad. If nothing else, please come join our community, the Math Expressions user group on Facebook. We would love to have you there. I can't wait to see you online. Bye for now.